What's up guys, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and yes, today we'll be taking a look at 15 cards that Supercell eliminated from Clash Royale. This is the biggest list I've ever done guys, so smash a like on today's video. Let's break 3,000 likes. Just smash a like on this video. If you want to get yourself a free legendary card, smash a like on this video. Basically guys, after you've left a like, go down there and comment in the comment section below what legendary you want to get, and I guarantee you will get that legendary if you like the video within the next 7 days. So the choice is yours. If you want to get amazing legendary luck, then you need to like this video and spam comments with your favorite legendary card. If I were you, I would just like the video. But honestly guys, I would appreciate it a lot if you actually left a like. It does take a lot of time and effort to make these videos, and especially if this list is very long. And today we're talking about 15 cards that were eliminated, so I mean it's kind of a long list. Anyway, let's finally begin the video. Number 1, the Barbarian launcher. So Supercell made some sort of podcast where they basically talked about cards that they killed, and this actually popped up as one of the features. The Barbarian launcher is basically as simple as it sounds, building that launches barbarians. Initially it was supposed to set out to look like the barbarian hut normally, but with a cannon or mortar on top of it, launching barbarians from out of it. Now the reason they just didn't add this card is because they didn't know how to make it work, whether it was going to shoot randomly like the mortar. After it shot like one building down, it would go for the other one, or whether there's just going to be a set location for where you're going to change the troops to go. You can basically just adjust to where they drop. So they didn't really know how to figure that out, and also it's kind of like a little bit over the top of a card. Like it's kind of mixing so much things at once, like the barbarian hut, the mortar. It's just a bunch of things all mixed up in one, and that is why I'm pretty sure Supercell decided to outrule this card and eliminate it. Number 2, the portal spell. Another card on the podcast of the Clash Royale cards that were eliminated, and this is actually just as simple as it sounds. You basically get this portal spell, you place it somewhere on the arena, and then in the spell radius, wherever you place it on the arena, say for example you've got a huge push coming, and you place this portal spell on the bridge. If your troops then go to that portal spell, they will get teleported to the other lane, and your opponent, obviously, if they see a massive push coming, they're just gonna try and defend with a bunch of stuff, and obviously they can't see your portal spell, so your troops will just get suddenly teleported. They're all the way on the other side. And now the reason I don't think they added this is simply because it's kind of like OP, because if you think about it, unless a spell costs a lot, you could just place it on the bridge, get a humongous push going. When the enemy starts attacking, you just simply teleport them to the other lane, and then you basically just 3 crown because you've got such a massive push and he has nothing to defend. Number 3, the Mega Pekka. Now I'm pretty sure you all have heard of this card right now. It's one of the hottest cards that have been talked about, and this thing is basically the destroyer of worlds in Clash Royale. This is better than a mini Pekka, a Pekka, Super Pekka, any Pekka combined all in one. This is basically a wind up sort of like Pekka thing. It basically one hits everything in one shot, whether that's a crown tower, king tower. I mean, it would have to be like 10 elixir, and it would have to be so slow, and the hit punch really can't be that big, otherwise this thing is overpowered as hell. And also another thing, this actually drops a mini Pekka from out of within its armor when it dies. So basically a mini Pekka is controlling this wind up Mega Pekka thing inside of the armor, and whenever the opponent's troops basically kill the Mega Pekka, another mini Pekka comes out to make it even more overpowered guys. I just don't understand how they even came up with this card. Number 4, the Elixirite or the Elixir Monster. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this one as well, because simply Clash Royale on their Instagram trolled everyone on April Fool's Day by posting a picture, and in the picture you saw this massive Elixir Monster. However, this was just a prank, and they also did say on the Radio Royale on their podcast that they actually killed this card. So essentially what it would be called the Elixirite or something along those lines, and basically it would be very weak when it starts off little, but then if you let it grow, it turns bigger into the Elixir Monster. Now the reason they said it didn't add this is because the Elixir Monster, when it builds up, is just too overpowered in general. So think about it guys, that's like a skeleton evolving into a giant skeleton, or probably even worse to that comparison, to the point where they're not even adding it. But I just really can't even imagine what this card would be like. Like, how would it hit? It's like Elixir. Like, how does Elixir even have arms? Number 5, the Trojan horse. So this card's actually very interesting, and the story behind this card is basically, this was like a massive kind of horse statue that would take up a massive amount of the arena. It's gonna be like really big in the arena, and what this is basically like a war statue that carries troop within inside of it. So yes, it's kind of like a little carrier storage for your troops on the arena. I don't know why or how this like even came into their mind. Like, I don't even know how you would put troops inside of it to begin with, because I'm pretty sure it would cost elixir, and then your cards would have to cost elixir for you to put them inside. I just don't really understand the concept of this card in general. Number 6, the Ghost. Now another card that happened to be on their podcast, and now this one I don't really know what it is, so I had to basically Google it, and a card came up, and this is basically what came up. It says level 4 Ghost, epic troop, 4 elixir, and then that was the image that Supercell kind of gave it. Basically it says the Ghost floats around the arena arena, hitting all of the troops in front of him by swinging his ball and chain in an arc. Spooky. So I'm guessing this is basically some sort of like skeleton troop. Obviously it's a ghost, but like it would act like basically just a normal troop with this thing that it carries and just smack stuff. But I'm not sure why it's called a ghost. Like surely this thing would be invisible to the opponent for a certain limit of time. Maybe it has like some invisible casted spell over it for a couple of seconds before the enemy sees him. But yeah, this card really doesn't have too much story that Supercell actually said, but they just said something about a ghost, and this is basically what it looked like. So another card that they actually eliminated. Number 7, the Dark Mirror spell. As simple as it sounds, and most of you have heard of this concept yourselves, this is basically a mirror but in reverse. So guys, a mirror obviously replicates your last trip that you have played. You could basically play 2 cards in a row for 1 added elixir. Now what the Dark Mirror would do is it play your opponent's last play trip for like 1 or 2 elixir more. Now this is kind of trippy because like if your opponent plays a card that you don't have, can you still play the Dark Mirror because you don't have that card? But yeah, this spell is very confusing. I mean, it's kind of like a good idea, but the concept is just far-fetched. Number 8, the Butterfly spell. Basically, as simple as this sounds, this would create a spell on the arena with a radius of butterflies. Now if you guys are aware, or if you aren't, the Pekkas are actually easily distracted by butterflies. Now I'm sure that this spell actually affects every troop and not just the Pekka. Basically what it would do, it would summon butterflies and it would distract the opponent's troops to go there. So you're basically luring all the opponent's troops to just go to this butterfly spell. This kind of reminds me of like a monkey bomb when you play zombies. Basically when you throw like this monkey bomb, all the zombies are attracted. So I'm guessing they were going with that concept, but then they said the reason this was eliminated is simply because they added the tornado spell instead. We know the tornado spell as kind of moving it away, just like squishing it away using wind, and it kind of does the same thing. I mean, you're kind of moving the troops where you want them to go, but I definitely think that the butterfly spell would be a great replacement for the tornado that we have now anyway. Number 9, the dragon. Everyone knows about this one. Like basically 99.9% of people that play Clash Royale know about the dragon card being killed. Basically the reason they didn't add the dragon, and I'm guessing y'all know what the dragon is, this is basically the dragon from Clash of Clans that was added a long time ago, and the reason they couldn't actually add this into Clash Royale was because of the large wingspan that the dragon has, and it would be kind of unfair to use smaller troops underneath the dragon's wings because the opponent just simply would not see those troops under the dragon's wings because they are so giant. So instead Supercell obviously eliminated this card and added the baby dragon instead because the baby dragon was smaller and it had really tiny wings. Number 10, the Wizard Tower. The Wizard Tower is actually a card that has been killed. It has been used in the earlier stages similar to the dragon, and basically they just said no, we're not using this, and basically I think they added the bomb tower instead. Now the reason they eliminated this is I'm actually really not sure why they eliminated this, but it was in Clash of Clans, but I just don't think that it had like a purpose to play in Clash Royale. And I say this because it is splash damage, and yes, the bomb tower is splash damage, but the bomb tower can at least not attack air troops, because the Wizard Tower, when you think about it, can attack minions, bats, skeletons, goblins, barbarians. It can attack anything. And obviously this thing was pretty powerful in Clash of Clans, so if they decided to add this, it would have to have the same concept as being powerful, and this thing would just be overpowered. This would basically be a third crown tower just defending like crazy. It would just kill minions, bats, skeletons instantly, so this thing would come really overpowered into the game. Number 11, the wall card. Now the wall's actually on the list of things that will never get added into Clash Royale, but however we know Supercell are infamous for saying that they won't add something, but then they eventually actually add it. So potentially we could see this card, but for now it has been outruled simply because it's really not fair using a wall to place on the bridge, so your opponent would have to either break through, waste their time, because if you think about it, you could just place like a bunch of cheap troops, keep cycling through these walls, mirroring the walls, so technically you can become Donald Trump in Clash Royale and you can build a crap ton of walls if you wanted to, which is just a crazy idea. Like, it's just like a 1v1 arena. You shouldn't really have walls, it's just a 1v1 battle with troops, so I can see why Supercell actually didn't add this. Number 12, the Igloo card. Now I really don't know where this came from, but a lot of people were saying that an Igloo card was coming around winter time. Maybe it's like a spawner for only ice troops, so like the Ice Bird, Ice Golem, Ice Wizard, but essentially this would be like a spawner for ice only troops. Supercell are thinking of creative ideas to add every time, and unfortunately this never came. Obviously we don't have any other spawner that acts like this. Number 13, the Elite Barbarian spawner. This card was eliminated for, I mean, a pretty obvious reason, apart from the fact that these cards are overpowered. They're really fast, they attack really fast, and they're just really strong in general. Everyone actually hated Elite Barbarians when they first came out. They wanted them nerfed, they wanted them removed, and everyone hated the people that choose the Elite Barbarians. So I'm just assuming that Supercell decided to take their fans' advice and their players' advice by not adding this because it'd just be too overpowered. You'd just be sick and tired to the top seeing this card. Number 14, trap cards. Now trap cards were a long-term thing that Supercell actually had to think about either adding or removing, hence why you've seen this bare bear trap leak card everywhere. Supercell were actually testing this card out in the beta stages, but then they probably realized it really wasn't a good idea. It wasn't really fair to add traps, because again, you really can't see it. Similar to the portal spell, you can't really see it, so it kind of throw the opponent off guard. It wouldn't really be a fair fight. Number 15, the Ice Spirit spawner. Similar to the Igloo, but like I just said, this is going to be strictly the Ice Spirit spawner, meaning this would only spawn like 2-3 Ice Spirits at a time. Obviously, Ice Spirits are 1 elixir, so this card wouldn't really be too bad. I don't know why they didn't actually add this, because we obviously do have the Furnace card, which spawns Fire Spirits, so I don't know what the big deal is without adding the Ice Spirit spawner. It would just only make sense to balance it and even it out, but I guess they might even be working on it right now. I shouldn't be saying this too early, but yeah, they apparently eliminated this for some reason. I don't know, this card just confuses me. Tell me what you guys actually think about this card, whether you want it to be added into the game or just eliminated and never come. And yes guys, this is going to wrap it up for today's video, because this has been 15 cards that Supercell have eliminated from Clash Royale. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Remember to smash the like button if you want to get yourself a legendary card. I mean, I'm not forcing you. You're not going to get a legendary card if you don't like, so choice is yours. Subscribe to my channel if you are new around here, because I'm posting some of the best top listing videos on Clash Royale. Comment your thoughts on all of these cards or other cards that you think Supercell should have eliminated, and I'll see you all in the next one, and peace.